Okay, so this is Tales from Retail Part 5, How Retail Negatively Affects Your Mindset. And so this is related even sometimes it comes from people who will tell you to, oh, just go get a job at Walmart when jobs don't exist. Now the thing is, when you're struggling, you're going to reach burnout much faster than someone who's paid well. So people who are paid well, they're not going to reach burnout. But when you're working part-time and you can't make ends meet and you're close to being homeless, living to paycheck to paycheck, you're going to reach burnout much faster because it's like, what am I even working for? And I recognize that myself related to raising a child. And so I wanted to kind of clarify that I did retail and waitressing mostly, but it's still retail. It was with a retail store that I was doing the waitress job because I had a restaurant, and so which was Woolworths, when they had their restaurant, and so what I'd said was times were a little bit better back then, and so I've noticed a culture shift myself from the 1970s to the year 2000, which was kind of the beginning of the internet. But I did notice a culture shift when I went to do retail at that time. When I was going to college, people were quite a lot more angry. I'd noticed that in my dad. I don't know why he was angry. My son was just talking about the stock market one day, and my dad told him to shut up. You don't know anything about it. You don't know what you're talking about. He got really upset with him. And there was no reason for my dad to bark at him like that related to the stock market. But now I kind of understand now that my dad explained that he was losing money. That's for another video though. But now my second ex-husband, he was one who was always pushing Walmart, go get a job at Walmart. He knows all these people who worked at Walmart. I said, if you liked it so well, why don't you go work at Walmart? Now he did apply for Home Depot's store. He didn't get the job there. This was after he was diagnosed with diabetes. So he could have, maybe he sabotaged the job, because I don't know what he said to the woman during the interview, but I think I told him how to sabotage a job interview if you don't want the job. I mean, there's a science to that, to sabotaging a job if you don't want it. And that's when they ask you, where do you see yourself in 5 years? You say working for another company, which indirectly, that's what most people don't want to be, working a retail job. So they tell on themselves, but then retail, they need people, they need responsible people, and eventually they'll hire someone like me they see as responsible, which is how I got my JCPenney job during